Hello and welcome to my channel Mediterranean Cooking by Marina. Today I'm gonna make an Egyptian dish as I promised last week. It's called kishk, and kishk is a porridge-like Egyptian dish made with a base of bechamel sauce that I'm gonna show you guys how it's made. It's fairly easy. And at the end of this recipe, I'm gonna give you a kind of a bonus recipe, which would be just a suggestion, a heartier way to serve this dish. I am gonna move my camera, therefore I have to pause the video for a little bit, move the camera so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm gonna direct the camera to my cooking area here. So I'll be right back. Hello, I'm back, and now I hope you can see my my pot here, my pan, where I'm gonna make the bechamel sauce. I am gonna turn the heat on, and I'm gonna start with 3 tablespoons of butter. You want to leave your butter on room temperature for a while before you start this, so it'll melt faster, and it's so much easier to work with butter that is already in room temperature. It's not so hard. So let's wait for the butter to melt, and then we'll continue. I would say that kishk, the way I'm gonna present it to you guys, is just more like a first course for a meal. Egyptians like to eat hearty meals, so especially at lunchtime, which is around 3 o'clock or so. The work schedule there, if it didn't change, when I was there back in the 1980s, they used to work from 8 until 2. By 2:30 they would be home. So they would have lunch between 2:30 and 3. And lunch over there at the time that I visited, it was the big meal of the day. Dinner is usually some bread with some little things like yogurt with olive oil, or some scrambled eggs, and some jam as well, and tea, of course. Tea is a big part of Egyptian culture, brought by the British that were there for a long time, as you know, and if you didn't know, you know now. Egypt was a British protectorate, so they got a lot of their habits from the English occupation there that lasted a long time. So I melted my butter here, and I'm gonna make a roux with that. A roux is the base for the bechamel sauce, and it's made of butter and flour. You want to make sure that you have the same amount of both. So 3 tablespoons butter, and I'm adding 3 tablespoons flour over here. And now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cook this flour in the butter. Made a paste kind of thing. And this is what's gonna thicken the bechamel sauce. I know a lot of people use cornstarch thickening sauces, but this won't be necessary over here. See how this is the roux. The flour by now probably has a nutty, buttery flavor. This is the perfect. And now, to give a sauce-like consistency, I'm gonna add milk. And the milk you wanna add very slowly. I have 1 cup of milk here. I'm gonna add about a half a cup at a time. And I'm gonna turn the heat to high. And you have to make sure that you're stirring this all the time, so you won't have any lumps forming. If you have a wire whisk would work really well for this. I'm using my spoon because yesterday I took my wire whisk out of the drawer and it was busted. So I had to throw it away, and I didn't have time to buy another one. Therefore, I'm using my spoon. You see how it starts to get liquid here, and you have to stir constantly. This is something that you cannot just leave and, you know, do something and come back. No, you gotta stay there and cook it. See, when you can see the bottom of your pan, see when I move the spoon like that, this is a good texture. Now I'm adding another half a cup of milk. So I want my bechamel sauce to be a little thick. And suggestion, if you happen to make this and eat some kishk and have some bechamel sauce left over, I suggest that you use that leftover bechamel sauce. You add some Parmesan cheese to it, or a blend of cheeses. Put it in your pasta. Or you can just put plain bechamel next to your chicken or beef. That would work very well. It would make a good side dish for your protein, beef or chicken. And here we go. Mix, mix, mix. You see that I can always see the bottom of my pan here every time I stir. Constant stirring is the secret for this sauce to be perfect, and of course the perfect ratio of flour and butter, and putting the milk in small batches. So you want to have your heat on medium to make this. And my sauce is thickening. So it's almost to the point that I want. See? It really is now. And I'm gonna turn this off, which you shouldn't worry about turning it off, because the sauce will continue to thicken even after you turn the stove top off, even after you remove from the heat. still thickening here. I'm sure you guys can see that. See this? And no lumps, which is great. And see how I can run my finger through the spoon. See that line? Beautiful. Now we're gonna season this. Just a little bit of pepper, black pepper, teaspoon of salt, right here. If you have nutmeg, you will make the perfect bechamel sauce. You wanna add nutmeg to your bechamel sauce. I ran out, and this is why I have not. And now for kishk, you wanna add some chicken broth. You can make your own from scratch at home, or you can buy from the store. Let's turn the heat back on. I added half a cup only. It's always best to add the ingredients gradually, just a little bit, to see if the dish turns out the way you want it to be. I'm adding a little more. Because I don't want my kishk to be too thick. I hope you guys can have a good view of this. This is the perfect texture. Turning the heat off again, and now I'm going to serve in my bowl. Just a little bit. I'm gonna top it off with some onions that I fried until golden brown on some butter. Just about a spoon like that. This is my final result, and I'll be right back to do the taste testing moment of truth. I'll be right back.